OEM oil filters. As far as synthetic or conventional, I will show you in a minute close up how these clips work. So this right here is the oil filter. Now we move on to the drain plug. It needs to be in between this line and this line right here. This is a 2023 Hyundai Tucson with a 2.5 liter 4-cylinder, and you can tell if you look, there's an EPA sticker on all cars. So you can see right there's the year 2023, and then group right there is your engine. The 2.5 L is your liter size of your engine. Most of y'all probably know that, but I'll go over all the stuff for the people that may have never done it before. So really all you need to know is your year, your engine size, and on the top of oil caps, the filler cap, it will have the we call it weight, but it's not really weight, oil. So and when you're jacking it up, now you don't have to jack these things up to change the oil. I generally don't jack this particular car up to change the oil, but I have to do the brakes on it next, so I went ahead and jacked it up. When you do jack it up, these cars have specific places for you to put jack stands. If you'll look right there, there's a little pad that's specifically made for jacks and jack stands and lifts. So just make sure you use the right place to hold it. Don't do it out here on the pinch weld. Pinch weld on newer cars are not strong like they used to be. So try to jack on the big heavy places. So let's go over real quick what you gotta have to change the oil. It's not a lot, but you do have to have a few things. So you have to have, this is a 29 millimeter socket. That will get your oil filter cover off. And then this is a 17 millimeter. That will get your drain plug out. And this is a 10 millimeter. That will get the cover off of the drain plug. And then this, I'll get into this. You don't have to do this, but this makes it a little cleaner. It actually has a little drain hole in the bottom of the oil filter housing that you can take this plug out and drain the oil out of it before you pull the cover off, and it's a lot less messy. And this is an 8 millimeter or a 5/16 if you don't have a 8 millimeter. And then you need just a regular straight screwdriver, and that will be to get the clips loose that hold the cover on under it. So I'll speak for just a minute on oil and oil filter. Now all mechanics have their opinion on oil and oil filter. So I have my own opinion on it too. And I'm going to say opinion because it's not fact. But I was a mechanic for almost 20 years full time. And this is the way I've always done all of my cars. And when I had my shop, I done all my customers' cars. And I never once had a trouble. So when it comes to oil filters, personally, I use nothing but OEM oil filters. I don't use Fram. I don't use anybody. I don't believe in none of them except OEM, the original manufacturer's oil filters. If it is a Hyundai, I use Hyundai Kia, which, you know, they're together. So I use Hyundai Kia. If I'm working on a Chevrolet, I use AC Delco. If I'm working on a Ford, I use Motorcraft. If I'm on a Toyota, I use Toyota. I do not use any aftermarket oil filter. I don't personally trust any of them. So, again, everybody's got their own opinion. Secondly, when it comes to oil, I have a differing opinion from a lot of mechanics. I believe you use the right viscosity or weight, as people you call it, that it calls for. Other than that, I buy what is on sale. I don't believe in any particular oil brand. I believe they're all roughly the same quality. And as far as synthetic or conventional, I don't differ between those two either. I believe conventional oil is just as good as synthetic oil. So I buy whichever one's cheaper. This is actually Walmart brand's oil, and the reason I have synthetic this time is because it was on sale, and it was about $2 cheaper than the conventional oil version. But I generally use conventional oil because it's cheaper, and I personally believe it's just as good. Now, there's going to be a few advantages to synthetic. I would tell you, if you live in the far north, Canada, Alaska, Minnesota, up in those places where it gets extremely cold, synthetic tends to be a little bit better because it doesn't thicken up quite as much. It doesn't gel up when it gets cold as bad as conventional. And I would tell you, if you're running high temperatures like a tow vehicle, something like that, you might want to consider synthetic. I think synthetic may hold up a little bit better with heat. But for the average person, I don't care, and I don't believe it makes any difference. And furthermore, I don't worry about going from conventional to synthetic or back and forth. My van, I have went back and forth, changed the oil every 10,000 miles. It has 210,000 on it right now. Still runs perfect. Still holds the same oil pressure. No problems. So again, run whichever one, in my opinion, that's on sale, and that's the cheapest as far as brand, or conventional or synthetic. So these cars have covers over the bottom that has a little access holes, but they have covers too. And this one has two covers, one here and one there, two access holes, I mean, and they have little plastic clips in them that hold them in, and they have a picture of an oil can on them, so you'll know that you have the right ones. So this front one is held in by a clip, and you just need a straight screwdriver, pop it out, and I will show you in a minute close up how these clips work. And then you just pop it off. That gets you access to the oil filter. So this one back here, so for some reason, this one back here, they put two clips and two 10mm bolts. So then that cover comes off, and then that gets you access to the drain plug. So before I get too far, let me show you how these clips work. So the way these things work is this is the way they look when they're in there. You see it? There we go. This is the way they look when they're in there. And so if you'll notice, hopefully you can see this, but see, they've got little slots in it. You just take your screwdriver, you stick it in that slot, pull that up, and then that will pop out. So what it does when it goes in is it goes in the hole. This and the other cover both have a hole in it. So this just shoves in there. This is like this. When you push that, it spreads the end out and locks it in. So let me put it on there and I'll show you. Okay, so that's the way it looks. See, you can take it in and out. Oh, crap. So this is the way it looks. You can take it in and out, but when you push it all the way in and then you push this down, it puts that down there and spreads it out, so now it won't come out. And that's what holds it on. Simple as that. So let's do the oil filter first. Well, let me get you in here and see if you can see it. Okay, so this right here is the oil filter housing. This thing uses a canister type oil filter, so you don't replace the entire big metal oil filter like you see on most cars. This one has a canister. So see right there on the end, that's a plug. And that plug, you put this in. See, it fits right in the end. And when you take that out, then that will drain that housing so that when you take the housing off, it won't make so big of a mess. So again, these things don't have to be extremely tight. So you may want to wear some gloves or just stay back. So there's the plug. And if you buy a OEM oil filter, it comes with a brand new plug. And it comes with the plug, the O-ring for the plug, the O-ring for the housing, and a new sheet metal gasket for the oil plug in the drain pan. I don't know if aftermarkets do that or not, because I never buy aftermarkets. So I generally let it drain for a minute. So basically just don't get in a hurry. And if you don't get in a hurry, this still won't take you more than about 20 minutes to do it. I usually let it drain down kind of far to where it's, just barely coming out. And then I put the plug back in just to help from making a mess and getting me all greasy. Okay, so next you need your 29mm socket and ratchet. And again, it doesn't need to be really tight. So it should come off fairly easy. And this is what it looks like. So let's get out here where you can see. So there's your filter. It just pops on there. And then there is a little bitty gasket right there. And it even has a little pull tab on it for you to get it out. See the little pull tab? I think you can see it. So, makes it really, really easy to get out. So then, this is the gasket. So this is the gasket, and this is the washer for your drain plug when we get to that. And then this is your new plug. So then I pull the old plug out. It probably don't have to, it's just that it comes with one, so I use it. This one's actually made a little different. I don't know why. Just like that. You take your new one with the little pull tab up. Stick it in there, any position on the pull tab, doesn't matter. Make sure it's there. Put your little oil around it, make sure it won't, you know, stick and wad up. Then your oil filter, and there's no markings on it, so that means it will go either way. Just snaps in there. That's all you do. Now we put it back. Okay, so all you do, find your hole where it was at, and by hand get it started and snug it down. Don't use a wrench to put it on to start with, because if you cross thread it, you can't really feel it that you've cross threaded it with a wrench. So if you do it by hand and you just put it on and run it down snug as far as you can, you'll know that you didn't cross thread it. So then you just snug it up. Again, don't get too tight. That's plenty right there. Now we move on to the drain plug. So you will need the 17mm socket and your ratchet. It's a good thing to use a big piece of cardboard or something, because not only it's clean for you to lay on, it keeps you from leaking oil, because you will drip oil. It keeps you from dripping oil on your driveway or your garage floor, or whichever one you're on. I happen to be in my driveway. So again, with the oil plug, it's just like the oil filter. It doesn't have to be extremely tight. Just snug it up is all you need. So it's preferable to wear some rubber gloves, which I don't have any on, but while that's draining, we will change this washer. So this is it has a really soft aluminum washer. Sometimes they're brass. This one is aluminum. So it's made to kind of crush a little bit so that it fits tight. This particular car, I don't know why, has actually 6.1 quarts. So make sure you got a big enough drain pan. So it's down to just barely a little bit coming out. And this is usually about when I stop, because you're just talking about a couple of ounces of oil. Put your new drain plug in. Again, doesn't have to be real tight. Just snug it down about like that. And you're done under here. Generally what I do is I will put the 5 quarts in, and then I will check it, or even crank it up for a few seconds. So there's 5 of it. you'll notice it's right at the lower end, and the oil filter is not full yet. So what I do is I will crank it up, let it run for a few seconds, turn it off, give it a few seconds, check it again. Okay. Now, let's see. See there? Now it's just barely reading right down here because it still needs one more quart. See there? That's where it's at now. It needs to be in between this line and this line right here. See it? And it was about right there. So you're perfectly fine right there. So that pretty well does it for the oil change. And I will even show you how I handle my old oil. Use the jug that it come out of. And put it back. That way I can just carry it to the recycling center in the back of the car. I don't have to smell it. I don't make a mess. It's even got a little clear thing on the side of the jug so you can see how full it is. And the good thing about it is these are 5-quart jugs, but they're big enough. They're not obviously filled all the way to the top. I think they make the jug bigger so you feel like you're getting more. But since they did that, it will hold all 6 quarts that you drained out of it. And now you got a nice clean container to take to the recycling center. And now these oil filters, these type of oil filters are different than the old I guess can type. Let me grab one and I'll show you what I'm talking about. So this is the old style oil filters. This is actually the one from my Ford van. These, when you change these, you can't just take these off and throw them in the garbage can because they still have a lot of oil in them. So what you need to do when you do these, put this on something and let it drain. And I usually I have 2 big screwdrivers, long ones. I lay 2 long screwdrivers across the top of this and put this on it. And then let it set until morning. By morning, it's drained enough, you can put it in the garbage can. But don't put this straight in the garbage can after changing the oil. The advantage for if your car's got these type of oil filters, these things are clean. You can see they're empty. These is perfectly acceptable just to throw this in the garbage can the way it is. So that is a quick video on how to change the oil in your 2023 Hyundai Tucson. And I hope it helps. I hope it saves you a little money. And if you want to watch the next video of this Tucson, I'm going to change the front brake rotors and pads. If you have any comments or think something should be done different, you're welcome to comment and let me know.